your dreams trying to tell you something? Author M.B. Mosley teaches you how to decode your dreams and take hold of the manifestations that lay in wait for you in the waking realm. Now, broadcasting all over the world, it's the Dream Interpretation Podcast.
Hello there, Dream Zone Interpretation Tribe. You are now tuning into the Spiritual Sweet Spot Saturdays. Say that fast. I dare you, dare you, dare you. All right, guys, I'm so excited to introduce this session. It was impressed upon my heart because I felt that we are dealing with all things spiritual dream realm. So why not add little days like this? I don't know why the days have to be little, but why not add days like Saturday just to kind of get that refresher that will touch the center of our spirit. And I'm also excited to lead these sessions on Saturdays from a manuscript that I have had forever. You heard right, a manuscript. That's how much I love you guys. All right. Welcome back, my beloveds. Welcome back, my beloveds. Zip, baby, Zip family, Dream Zone Interpretation Podcast family. Welcome back. You are at the right station at the right time. And this is our segment, Saturday Spiritual Sweet Spot. So excited to be here. I am your host, author, and sister friend, Memory Bengessa Mosley, also known as M.B. Mosley, also known as Mansa Manemi, just depending on the day and the book written. All right, guys, I'm so excited. We are in 2021. I welcome you into 2021, second day of 2021. How about that? And I pray that this message here finds you doing well in this little second day. You know, I love the word little. I don't know why I always say little second day, little Saturday. All right. Pray that this podcast finds you and your family doing well on the second day of January. A fresh spanking brand new year. All right. I don't know about you. I'm excited. I'm always excited for any chance to start over again. Turn the page. Let's do that all over again. This time a little bit different. How about that? All righty. Well, guys, I'm so excited. All right, guys. So before we get started, I was sitting thinking for a couple weeks now, because I knew, of course, this was coming about. But I was like, all right, Spirit, what are we talking about? I mean, January, we got to bring it in. So Spirit was kept repeating this theme. Letting go of those things that no longer serve you. Letting go of those things that no longer serve you. Letting go of those things that no longer serve you. I said, I need to hear that. Because I need a lot of things I need to let go of a lot of things that no longer serve me. I'm already checking myself right now. And just by saying that, and when that was just going through my mind, I was like, yes. All right. But before we get started, I want to read a page from the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. And this is Know Yourself, and this is by Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. Know yourself. Those who know both their masculine side and their feminine become fruitful like the valleys of earth. Being like the valleys of earth, their vitality will not desert them. They will remain energetic as children. Those who know both their strengths and their limits become models worth following. Being worthy models, their vitality will not fail them. They will radiating simplicity. Wise rulers inspire others to follow their path. Such is the making of a great administration. All right, let's get into it. Waste no time. Say no more. Let's get into it. 2021. Who else is so excited about this new year? New year, new things. Remember that? New me. Anybody still saying new year, new me? All right. New year, still me, but trying to be better and improved. How about that? All right. Let's keep the caboose on this train moving. All right, guys, so let's talk about letting go of those things that no longer serve you. As the queen of disclaimer, I feel it's necessary to insert some disclaimers. Just teasing, not yet. Hold your horses, Hold your horses. We'll get to disclaimers. Maybe, maybe not. All right. So letting go of those things that no longer serve you. So having this being repeated in my mind, I said, all right. I felt a conviction. All right. We're here together doing this thing we call life together, the journey of self, right? I like to call it the journey of true self. And definitely from the book of life, LIFE, living in faith every day, is what we're doing here. And so I said, okay. The conviction was heavy. Took some notes. I said, all right, now I have to sit down and write how I want to show up differently in 2021. But first, I had to make sure that I wrote down what I was letting go off that no longer served me so that I could show up differently in 2021. So let's get into this. In order for us to process and or get into letting go of those things that no longer serve us, it is imperative for us to dig deep into our internal compass, right? Dig deep into our heart. Search. The interesting part is we know deep down inside of those things that no longer serve us. We know deep down inside our hearts of the things we needed to have let go a long time ago. We know deep down inside our hearts of those things that no longer serve us, but we're still holding on tightly to them. So now it's 2021 and we need to write on pen and paper or in your phone notebook and start penning down, writing the things that no longer serve you. Okay. And then it's going to be a not even a challenge really, but it's going to be an interesting task. Let's say that. It's going to be an interesting task because the hardest thing or the most interesting thing, my favorite word, the most interesting thing is being brutally honest with yourself. Now, in order, once again, probably repeating, I apologize, but I'm just so excited. But in order to let go of those things that no longer serve us, we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. What does brutal honesty about ourselves look like? Confronting those things that are no longer serving us. It's not going to be so pleasant, right? If it was, everyone would be doing it. We'll all be skipping down the yellow brick road, holding hands, right? But these are the things that we have to confront now. Some of us have to cut the cords. Some of us have to bag them up, zip tie them up, put them in the trash can, take the trash can outside. Some of us have to dig a deep hole in the ground, shove them in there, bury them. And I'm not talking about human beings. Some of us have to burn them. Write it on a paper, put it in an envelope, go outside, burn it. These are the things that no longer serve us. Whatever it is you have to do, but first and foremost, you have to reach deep down inside your internal compass, reach deep down inside your heart. For the most part, we already have that feeling. We kind of know. All right. The reason why I promote being brutally honest with oneself is because only until then, if that's done, can you be truthful with yourself, right? Because if you're not honest with yourself and you're not truthful with yourself, then it'll create a challenge to let go of the things that no longer serve us. We're going to feel excuses around it. We're going to try and deceive ourselves around it so that we don't let them go. We're going to try and justify, same thing as excuses about these things. That's why I am advocating to be brutally honest with yourself. Whether you like the process or not, some of these things have to be done. Once you become deep down, brutally honest with yourself, reach deep down inside that internal compass, I'm telling you, it's stuff I'm like, you know what, memory, I'm tired of you, memory. I am. Girl, you got to get it together. Okay. Just because it was COVID didn't mean that I just had to sit here and eat everything and anything I could. That was no perfect excuse, right? I got to get down to the deep core, the girl that used to go and exercise and love exercising. Where is she, memory? I'm asking myself that. I'm saying, memory, that is no excuse. That is no excuse, memory. It's not. The brutal, honest truth. Looking myself in these eyes, in this brown, dark brown eyes. Shaking my head like, nope. We're not showing up in 2021 like this. Don't let COVID be your excuse, memory. We done with COVID. The block is not on lockdown. You could walk a block. You could walk 2 blocks. We, meaning memory and myself, got to get it together. I'm just saying this is the dialogue. This is the dialogue. You got to get deep down into that truth that you don't like about yourself, or you don't want to talk to yourself about. You got to. If you're not going to sit up here and be honest with yourself and tell yourself the truth, then who is? Yes, we have some love people, but you know how that goes when they tell us the truth. Some of us will get deep down into our feelings, yet they mean it with love. So I'd rather just really continually tell myself the truth and receive the truth from my loved ones. But I gotta, get to this brutal truth. I'm like, snapping the fingers at myself. I'm like, I've written down some things that I need to show up differently for 2021. What about you? What are you thinking? What are you brainstorming? Sometimes we know deep down. I knew deep down in my heart. That's why when I heard that message, I said, I was convicted. I said, yep, guilty as charged. Lock them up. Cuff them up and lock them up. Guilty as charged. Skip the court process. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Yes. Absolutely agree. Memory has to let go of these things that no longer serves her. So now once we get down to the honesty part, the brutal honesty part, dig down into the heart, into the campus, into the internal campus, and we dig deep down inside, we start to pull some of these items out. Now, I cannot specifically tell you what your items are because everyone is different. It's not a one size fits all. But think about some things, not your case, but when we talk about the things that no longer serve us, some people have been serving things that were not serving them for years. For 5 years, you've been in a stagnant relationship that's never served you. It's not growing. It's been dead since day one. You're just there to be there. I'm not trying to hit a chord. I'm just trying to throw this out there. I don't know whose situation that is, but let's get down to the guttermost truth. Right? Because deceiving, lying, and justifying to ourselves is not going to help us grow. It's not going to help us or guide us on this journey to our true self. This is the journey to our true self. And you want the journey to the false self, you go on another podcast. I'm just saying. But let's continue. I digress. So let's think about this, right? Perhaps it's a habit that you have known for months or years you've been holding on to, and it's no longer serving you. Perhaps it's family relationships. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Did I touch a nerve? Oh, those could be so complicated. So complicated. They're your family. You love them unconditionally. But sometimes some don't serve you. What is the fine line of saying what serves and what doesn't? Okay, let's look at it like this. But first and foremost, you gotta get down deep into the brutal, guttermost truth. You know it. It's in your heart. You got that feeling. I should have. It's time to stop. Right? But let's talk about on the surface. The things that no longer serve us will come in the forms of toxic relationships or circumstances, negative relationships or circumstances. And let's talk about that a little bit. Let's split those up a little bit. What does that look like? Well, let's look at the things that affect our moods. When you get done talking to that person, energy suckers or energy vampires just drain you. I don't know why I still talk to this person on this phone or why I still hang out with this person, but every single time I get off the phone, my energy is spent. I'm feeling negative. I'm feeling down. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling depressed. That person is not serving you. If their purpose is to continually call you or talk to you and just sucking the living daylight out of you, just sucking your energy out, they leave you feeling really on a negative, low vibrating frequency, then they're not serving you. You dig deep down inside, you know that if that's the case, they're not serving you. What you need to do, that's when you dig deep down inside your heart. We're doing surface stuff right now, and then we're gonna go to the next part. It's not an easy process, but it's a process. That's part of the journey to true self, right? We're talking about things that are stunting your growth, not growing you mentally, physically, emotionally. Things that are robbing from you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Robbing how? Depriving you of oxygen, literally, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Things, people, spaces, places that are robbing you left and right of your freedom to be happy. Okay? Yes, one can argue that happiness is a self-conjured blah, blah, blah thing, but come on now. You know, if you're around, there's some people that you could be around that are just a ball of like just dark energy that's just negative. Like just suck your happiness out of you. You don't need those people around you. No. And now we're just digging on the surface of the things that no longer serve you. Right? Think of yourself as that fragile seed placed in that rich soil, right? You want the things that grow you on this path, the things that serve you, the water, the nurturing gardener's hands. That you want the good things, right? You don't want the worms. You don't want to be trampled all on. You don't want the things that stop you from growing emotionally, mentally, and physically. All right? It's all connected. Remember, our consciousness is all connected. It's all connected. That's why sometimes you see, and I know this of myself for the longest time, I have been an internalizer. For the longest time, if I was feeling a certain way with my emotions, I showed up by eating. I didn't know how to articulate how I was feeling. So the best thing for me was just to like eat it away, and I'll think about it or feed whatever it is that momentarily made me happy. Right? So just think about those things that no longer serve you. We're talking about 2021 showing up differently in 2021. This is it. We're walking this journey together of true self. So once we dig deep down into our internal compass, we do this self-inventory, this evaluation of ourselves, and we look ourselves in the mirror, eyeball to eyeball, and we decide that, you know what, from this day forward, I am letting go of this, because it's no longer serving me. I am taking a hold of this that will serve me. Perhaps for some people it's social media. I had to get off social media some time ago. I'm trying to think. Let's say it's been 3 years. So like when I had to do my social media rehab, probably 4 years ago or so, 5 years ago, right? So I was heavy on social media, and this is now you're talking about you got apps on your phone, so go ahead and just eat away, just feed away, just eyeball, just enjoy, right? And I found myself being unproductive and just the finger just flipping through and chiming back on social media. That at that time I had to, some people are stronger than I am, but at that point in time, I literally had to uninstall my apps, and that didn't work. Yes. And so I had to deactivate my accounts after uninstalling my apps. And so 3 months passed by, my fingers were itching. 6 months passed by, I was twitching. 8 months passed by, I was having withdrawals. But when the year passed by, when the year marker got there, it was out of sight, out of mind. And I'd found myself to be more productive. It felt good at that time. So turn around the next year, kind of went without it. And then I have the Facebook page. Still don't really know how to operate it, to be honest with you, 100%. But that's there. But the rest of, and I never participated on that page really. So then but it was like the regular Facebook and Instagram. And then I refused to know about other social medias because I'm like, no, I gotta focus. I need blinders like a horse. So, I would dabble and kind of like go back on, like, I create another Instagram account, and I never did go back to Facebook. Believe it or not, I never did. Regular Facebook. I have a Facebook page. Like I said, I don't know how to really operate. I think my ignorance is really in there for that Facebook page because I don't want to learn, because I feel like I'll probably start chiming away if I figured out how to do all that stuff. But so nothing is fun or interesting going on there. I don't have an app on my phone, but anyways, I digress. So when I did try to like go back and create another Instagram, it was just like, so I was so over it, like the app was on my phone, and then it was like, why do I even have this app on my phone? Because it was now out of my system. So I just completely removed the app and left. I'm pretty sure I got an Instagram account. But point being is, I recouped my time. I, started being productive. Again, that's just me. Okay. Social media might not be a weakness for anybody else. This is just a little minor example in our journey to true self, letting go of those things that no longer serve us. What are those things that no longer serve you? Those things that deep down inside your internal compass that absolutely positively, these things no longer serve me. And it is time. It is time to sever ties. It is time to cut the cord. These decisions are never easy, but you can do it. Trust and believe you can do it. If some of you have heard from the last podcast a little bit about my addiction, at the turning of that addiction, when the willpower was strong and I was going forward for sobriety, I had to sever ties with a lot of friends and associates that were wonderful people. There is nothing wrong with those people. However, at that time in my life, it was either continued friendship, which was based on nightly activities and drinking and hanging out, or taking this journey to sobriety by myself for my life to live. So I had to choose the journey to live, the journey to sobriety. It was a lonely journey to begin with. However, you keep going, because no one likes to be alone, said everyone in the whole entire world. However, at that moment, when I just kept going, was it easy? No. Was it hard? No. I just had to keep going. I knew that if I even tried to go and hang out with that group, even in my mind, I tried to think, oh, maybe we could go hang out. When we go have the wings on Fridays, I don't have to drink. I'm like, no, we're not going to the bar. What about we're not going to the bar? Do you not get? We're not going to the bar. What part about this sobriety do you not understand, memory? Sometimes you gotta just talk to yourself just like that. Give yourself attitude too. Just shake your head and just be like, get it together. So yeah. So, as time went on, it was weird because it started was lonely. However, it became really emotionally fulfilling. And if you've listened to my other podcast there about it, where I will highlight that if you're a person trying to let go of these habits and even or addiction, or you're trying to do something new in your life, I highly recommend trying positive groups. Nowadays, there's so many groups you could get involved in, whatever it is you like to do, writing for a cause, hiking for a cause, art for a cause, swimming for a cause, quilting for a cause, church for a cause. That was mine. And so whatever it is you like to go and insert yourself in that's positive to help you through this process, because most times, unless you don't have to do these journeys alone, you hear me say that I was alone, but I wasn't lonely. Okay. I could go to the group of the people and help and volunteer at the church. So therefore, when I say alone, friend-wise, associate-wise, new concept, right? But that journey had to be done. But listen, remember the key ingredient for manifestation, law of attraction. One of the things that I will always talk about is the power of intentionality, right? So when you do things with intention, the universe will reward your desires, your positive desires, or your desires within the realms of the scope of the universe, right? Not the desires of I want to go kill somebody. No, that's not how that works. But listen, some people go through with it and then there's consequences there. But listen, so when you do things with intention, right? And for instance, at that moment, though, I felt alone. I was disassociating from everything I knew, the friends and associates. And I took the steps to go and find like the introverts of all, mother of all introverts, going out there to talk to a bunch of strangers in an organization I hadn't been to since I was a little girl, was by far the most challenging thing I ever had to do in my life. And so by far, but that's a little over dramatic because I think there was something recently that I'd had to have done. Okay. Anyways, yeah, going to just do that part of it wasn't like, the most easiest thing to do, but it was done because then the intention was there. And guess what? New friendships were forged. Positive friendships were forged. So when you do things with intention, the universe will reward your desires, right? So let's talk about letting go of those things that no longer serve you. We're digging deep inside into our inner compass, being truthful with ourselves and being honest with ourselves. The reason why I advocate for us to be honest with ourselves is because and understand this, here goes the disclaimer. I knew it was going to come. I am not saying disclaimer. I'm not saying you are not an honest person. I'm not saying you are not a truthful person. Like for myself, I'm not saying I was not an honest person or a truthful person when I said deep down inside. As honest as we are and as truthful as we are, sometimes we have to dig deep down inside our own hearts to look to ourselves, to pull out that honesty about ourselves is what I'm saying. And the minute that we become really 100% truthful and honest with ourselves, then are we able to show up in true honesty and truthfulness. Not saying that you were not honest in truthfulness before, not saying that you were not showing up in honesty and truthfulness. Hear me out. I was having a conversation with my sister. Well, let me put it this way first. Not saying that you were not honest and truthful and you were not showing up. You were 100% showing up in honesty and truthfulness. However, when we get to those things that we don't like to discuss with ourselves, like for me, this whole entire weight thing, and we got to do something about working out, but being truthful with myself, like, look, what kind of life expectancy are you trying to do here? This is not COVID related anymore. Okay, leave that to the side. It's not a circumstance. This is a conversation I wasn't trying to have with myself. Because I know that I've been reckless. The mouth has been reckless. I was like, hey, if we're about to live in a post-apocalyptic world, I might as well put on some fat because I might need some fat to survive when we're out in the hills and we're out of food. I'm just saying. I'm just teasing, guys. I'm joking. But anyways, I digress. Post-apocalyptic world. No, I'm just teasing. So I'm just saying that, all right. Let's get back. Focus, right? Horse blinders, focus. So what I'm saying is the reason for us to dig deep down in our heart and pull out that part of our honesty about ourselves. And when I talk about showing up within that honesty, then it allows us to be fully 100% truthful with people. Once again, I'm not saying you're a liar. I'm not saying you're not truthful. I'm not saying you're honest. Now, let's go to the conversation with my sister as an example. I was talking to my sister today. She's been going through some situations, and part of it lightly, if I may, and I say this because I've been, my personal experience were also here, where the society is built of concepts, and the concepts and preconceived notions are such as, if you don't do a certain thing, then you feel like you're being mean, or that's not nice, or, oh, I can't do that because I can't say no because that's being mean. Well, you're being dishonest with yourself. That's where I'm going with this. Follow me, follow me, follow me. That's why I wanted to give you that disclaimer. I wanted you to understand that I'm not saying you're not honest or you're not truthful. You're 100% honest, you're 100% truthful. Now, the honesty and truthfulness I'm talking about is with yourself now, right? Because I've always been, not saying that I'm perfect, but what I'm saying is, I'm going to be I was honest to people and truthful to people, right? Because that's what I thought. Integrity first, morals, values, whatever it is. But myself is where I lacked to be honest with. I was lying to myself, deceiving myself. 2020, COVID, eating. But other than that, these other events and situations in my life where I wasn't showing up for myself in honesty and truthfulness. Sure, I'd be honest and truthfulness among people. Yeah, sure, I keep my word. Sure, I'll be right there. Sure. But myself, Memory Bengessa Mosley to Memory Bengessa Mosley, I wasn't showing up for myself in all truthfulness and in all honesty. What am I saying? I was the type of person in life where it was hard for me to say no. So I would say yes, but then I didn't like it. I would get really annoyed by myself after saying yes, because then I didn't say no. So I was dishonest with myself. Anytime you're chipping away from yourself, from being truthful and honest with yourself, you're chipping away. So what do you call that, right? I'm telling you, for myself, it was being dishonest. It was dishonest behavior. It was not honoring myself. And I used to get so annoyed. So back to the sister story, similar like that when she was telling me about her story. She said she would feel bad. But listen, the situation she's in, it wasn't like she felt bad if she would say no. But she didn't want to cut these people off that she had to. They're toxic people. And so today, talking to her, she said, me, my other sister, and my cousin were telling her the same thing. Yeah, like, you got to cut these people off. You got to stand your ground. Tell them no. That's it. They're going overboard. And she's like, oh my gosh, I feel bad. I'm like, but now talking to you all, that's a part of an example of being dishonest with yourself, right? Because then you're going to force yourself to do something you don't want to, even though people are chipping away at your morals, at your integrity, and taking advantage of your kindness, if that makes sense. So with 2021, we're showing up differently. How are we going to be honest and truthful with ourselves? We show up to the world being truthful and honest with integrity, morals, and values, and all the amazing attributes. But now when we look ourselves in the eyeballs, in the mirror, how are we going to show up for ourselves in being honest and truthful? Because understand that the minute we gravitate to being 100% brutally honest with ourselves, once we're 100% brutally honest with ourselves, then are we able to show up 100% honest with everyone else. Once again, disclaimer, it's not that you don't, right? But if you don't want to do something and you tell somebody that you want to do it because you're afraid or you think it's going to be mean, even though you know it's not a thing that you want to do, and you know it's a thing that's going to affect your mood, that's going to affect your behavior, that's going to put you in a negative versus a positive flow of frequency and vibration, then you're being dishonest with yourself. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's just think about this for a second, right? I understand I was 100%, I was there. 100%. My sister, where she's at, I was there. And I got so tired of always, because this is what happened with me. I fell short, right? Because I was being dishonest with myself. And so what happened would be like, all right, so you're going to so-and-so's baby shower. It's just an example. And like, I didn't want to go, probably tired, been working. I just wanted that day off. Yeah, I'll be there. And so when the day comes, I don't feel like going. So now I'm like, I should have just said I wasn't going to make it. but now I have to go. So now I'm all like annoyed by it. I'm driving annoyed. I'll get there annoyed. My mood is annoyed and I don't want to be there because I'm annoyed, and I'm not showing up to them in honesty because that's not my true self. And I've been dishonest with myself. You understand that? So the energy, the flow of energy around is just low because I was not honest with myself initially and said, you know what, I'm not going to make it. Understand this, like I told my sister, this is just a minor example, right? Because there's other things that we are wanting to let go that no longer serve us. At the top of the podcast, we're talking about whether it's a 5-year relationship that no longer serves you, whether it's a 2-year relationship that no longer serves you, a habit, whether it is certain habits, an addiction that no longer serve you. You're being dishonest with yourself by staying in those circumstances because you're not showing up in your true self. You're not being honest and honoring yourself in honesty. So you're being dishonest to yourself. You could be that type of person, once again, that shows up to everyone else and has the morals, the values, and you're honest and truthful in everything you say. But as long as you are not standing within your true honesty and truthfulness to yourself, your allegiance to yourself, you're brutal honest to yourself, then you're being dishonest to yourself. You're chipping away. And then you're chipping away because then you're chipping away at your energy as well, right? Because when we put ourselves in commitments or situations that we knew deep down inside our hearts that we should have never embarked in, we should never have been doing, then it just throws the whole entire energy flow. Like, I know I was just like right down there, right by the ankles with some of these things because I'm just like kicking my feet, driving to these places late because I don't want to be there. And just why did I do these commitments or even relationships I've showed up in where I'm like, okay, why am I even in this relationship, right? Back in the day, you know, this is a waste of time. Like, you just know, and it's like, okay, somebody break up with somebody because what are we doing? So, and then even the whole entire time you're kind of dreading the whole entire process. Like, what are we doing? It's just, you know, anxiety, just is things in our lives, circumstances, situations, relationships, family members that come in our lives, that show up in our lives. And as long as we're not letting go of those things that no longer serve us about them, then we're being dishonest with ourselves. So that's why it is very important at the top of this podcast, when the main ingredient for this whole entire letting go of the things that no longer serve us is looking ourselves in the mirror. Of course, repeating this for the third time, I apologize, but looking at ourselves in the mirrors and being honest with ourselves and being truthful with ourselves. You know deep down inside your heart, what you shouldn't be doing. You know deep down inside your heart. You know deep down inside your heart that you shouldn't be over here in the circumstances, or you shouldn't be embarking in this. You know deep down inside of your heart that that's just chipping away at you. It's taking little parts away at you. Just that the heart is not sitting right with your heart. It's not sitting right with your heart. It's not sitting right with your heart. All right, guys. So let's welcome once again to 2021. We are in 2021, full effect. And so let's challenge ourselves as we embark on this journey of true self, right? Let's challenge ourselves to be honest and open with ourselves. Let's do that. Let's challenge ourselves to be honest and open with ourselves than others. Okay. Once again, the disclaimer queen has to send disclaimers. I'm not saying that you are not a dishonest person by nature. You're not a truthful person by nature, but understand that these are matters where individually, if we are not honest with ourselves, then we are robbing from ourselves, right? And then we're being dishonest with ourselves. And when you're dishonest with yourself, you show up in dishonesty that's chipping away at your soul, your heart, your energy. And it's not saying that when you show up to these things and circumstances and predicaments, you know it consciously. It's just that everything around it indirectly is just giving out those vibes of not being honest with yourself. I love you guys that much. 2021 is the best and greatest year of our life. Let's claim it. I love new beginnings. Never be afraid to start all over again. Life is a journey that I'm enjoying taking this journey with you all, the journey of true self through the book of life, living in faith every day. I love you. Be blessed. Stay blessed. Peace and happiness to you and your family. Life is happening right now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. Seize the moment to enjoy each day while en route to your intended destiny. A quote by Memory Ben Gessemer. If no one has told you this today, I love you. I appreciate you. And yes, we can do this thing